Actually, our team call has started because I just started the recording. I always forget to do that. Sarah, your leopard print sweater is so cute.
Why, thank you, TJ Maxx.
I'm like, it keeps, I'm just like loving all the leopard stuff. Okay, so where are you going? So I wanted to talk strategy because we're in the beginning of a month. How many of you hate the feeling of the end of the month hustle where you're like cramming at the last hours to hit a goal or do your follow-ups? It's like the worst feeling. And if you didn't feel that last month, then if you've been around for any part of time, you have felt that before. And it's the worst feeling trying to like sprint at the end. Not that sprinting's a bad thing, but wouldn't it be so much better to explode at the beginning of the month and carry that momentum through the end of the month? Because I think we all can relate, if you've been in this business for any amount of time, that when you're feeling confident, you're feeling accomplished, you're feeling successful, you're feeling like you're doing important work that's actually making a difference and helping people, you're helping people get started. What does that do to you? The momentum it carries, you start being more brave. Like, you know what, I am going to do a live video about this taboo topic or about something that's really like have a thing that I'm going to be vulnerable and share how I've grown, because you feel like what you're doing matters and it is making a difference. And so the secret to this being a successful month for you is to get that feeling. It really is about this. It's about your mindset. It's about your emotions. It's about your magnetism and your belief in what you're doing. And so, and I've been honestly, like between my calls that I have with Liz and me being mentored by her and like me growing in leadership and the last probably 5 months looking at our team and taking inventory of what are our strong areas and what are the areas as a team that we are collectively weaker in. It is building it's hitting Success Club, it's building that momentum, it's then duplicating that and helping other people be successful, because that's how all of our businesses get residual income, right? So I had to take a look in the mirror and be like, what can I do to help everyone? And then reflect on what have I done that has worked. Because sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with you, I do better teaching other teams that than I do teaching our team. And I'm like, what is that about? And I think it's because I assume, this is my bad, right? I assume that you guys know. Like, that's the worst relationship advice ever, right? Like, we're in a relationship. What happens when we assume that our husbands know what we're thinking and how we're feeling, when we say we're fine and we expect them to know that that's a 4-letter word, and right? Like, that's the worst thing like that I could have done. So I wanted to share with you guys my strategy and some tips for hitting Success Club this month, but more than that, growing your business. More than that, making a difference. Our world needs us right now, you guys. If you haven't noticed, the world's a little anxious and angry and like the mad, all the bad emotions. And this is where we have the opportunity to really stand out. Oh gosh. So with that being said, for those of you who didn't get, I did a new coach getting started right video in our team page. I'm going to be doing that every Tuesday morning, so you guys know, so that you can tag your new coaches if you have them signed up. Oh my gosh, Brendan, that was I'm sorry, you just got a black eye from your toddler. Belief is the number one thing, and I feel like I've heard that in the last 4 years of me growing this business, and it didn't really click like it has recently. To me, it sounded like, believe in what you're doing, obviously. Like, have a positive mindset. Believe that, and it was almost like surface level belief. Believe that, what you're doing matters. Of course, if people exercise and eat healthier, it matters. But if you can go layers deeper with that and realize that, again, and I love these these stories, as tragic as they are, the people who have shared at Summit, for those of you who haven't been, that they were going to end their life. And they didn't because of a Beachbody coach. They didn't have any more hope in the world to live anymore. And they chose to keep living and showing up because of a team like ours. Because someone spoke, like someone invited them to be a part of something. What we're doing matters. It matters, like in a deep level. And when you can experience that for yourself, if you're newer, this might be hard, but if you can ask yourself, even in my hardest days as a coach, would I trade it? Would I, if I got 100 no's, if I got 1,000 people telling me no, but I was able to save one person's life, would I still do it? And when we can start asking ourselves these things, if you can go to, so one of the things that I did on our, on the new coach call was I turned my phone around and I looked through our transformation wall on our Health Patriot Nation page. And I walked through each of the stories that are on there, like obviously very briefly, but the transformation pictures. None of that would happen if I quit on my hardest day. And none of us would be here if Liz quit on her hardest day, because it's hard. Like, we need to expect it to be hard sometimes and decide now what kind of person we want to be when it's hard, and if it's worth it to us to still show up so that we can be the best version of ourselves and we can help other people do the same. So a lot of us have kids, right? And how many of you, like, comparing when your cup is empty, when you don't have any support, when you are not taking care of yourself, when you're surviving off of multiple cups of coffee in the morning and multiple cups of wine at night in order to, as your upper and your downer, and you have the news on all day, you're eating crappy food, how do your kids benefit from that? Do you feel like you're able to show up and give them the best of you? And if you're not a mom, in any part of your life, like, what's important to you, your friendships, your parents, your siblings, your best friends, if you're feeling horrible, how does that impact the people around you? And do you want to be that kind of, I don't want to say negative influence necessarily, but the person that it's really hard to build other people up when you're feeling really low, right? And so we can resonate with that ourselves, and we can imagine how other people are feeling. And I promise you, I'm getting to the end of this point and a little bit more technical here in a second. Now imagine the flip-flop. And even if you're in a funk right now, imagine that you decided this November to take things to the next level, right? And this is what I've decided to do. And this is why I'm feeling fire right now. What if you decided to do things that you've never done before? So for me, I'm in the middle of boxes. I've got 3 little kids, but I decided, why not do 2 days? Like, why not do 2 days in the month of November? Like, is it really that hard? 2 workouts that are 20 to 30 minutes. One in the morning before everyone wakes up, and one later. Now, I'm not saying you need to do this, but I knew that I needed to do something like that to feel that fire and motivation and excitement again of recommitting. And I know my kids and my husband are going to get a better version of myself. Oh my gosh. Because I'm committing to taking things to the next level, right? And so, and I'm committing to my nutrition. No more half-assing it. How many of you have half-assed your nutrition and you feel it, right? You're not getting results. And so if you're not getting results, it's hard to believe in what you're doing. This goes down to the vital behaviors. Be a product of the product. Do what you're telling other people to do, and do it with all of your heart. This month, commit to doing that, whatever that looks like for you. Your nutrition, your Shakeology, and a workout. Pick it, do it, and then use social media as a journal. So all that to say, number 1 is your mindset, your belief, your expectations. If you go into this month expecting to struggle, expecting people to give you price objections, expecting people to tell you no, expecting it to be hard, and then putting unrealistic expectations on you too. If you send 5 invites this month and do a couple posts on social media and you're like, oh, no one wants to join me. That's not on other people. That's not on Beachbody. That's on your belief in what you're doing. Because in anything in our lives, when we feel something deeply in our bones that this could really change people's lives, like it's changed mine, this could really make a difference in so many families across America and Canada and the UK. When you feel that, you feel like it's my obligation to tell as many people as possible. It's not like, oh, that's a bummer. It's like, no, you don't understand. You need this in your life. And that's how I feel about what we do. It's also how I feel about coaching. Like, this is a vessel that could get you anywhere you want to go if you build it right and if you believe it and if you're consistent over time. It's not going to happen overnight. I think that's important for us to recognize too. And I was talking to my husband about this last night because we're in a unique situation with his job. And I think it's important for us to recognize that if one human has ever done what we want to do, it's possible. The next step is, do I believe that I can do it? And that's a choice. You may not see how, and this is what I'm learning from all the collection of these books that I'm listening to right now and these podcasts. You're never going to know how to do it in the beginning. You have to make the choice. Do I think that I can? If someone else has done it, and this is what Liz has done for me, she's built that life of freedom. She's built a 7-figure income. She's a 15-star diamond coach, and she did it in 4 years, and she has 3 kids. And I love, like, she is such a great inspiration to me of how I want to build my life. If she's done it, I know I can do it because we're all humans. And we may start with in different places, but where we go is up to us. And if we choose to not believe in our ability to do it, that's on me. That's not on my circumstances or anyone or anything around me. And so this month, if you're going into it like, well, I hope someone joins me, it's not going to work. I hope someone responds to my invites. I hope that I don't get ghosted again. It's not going to work. Hope is not a plan. It is not a strategy in this perspective, right? You have to have a burning fire in you that you're so excited. And I think back to when I first started, when I had never tried anything. I ordered the 22-minute hardcore challenge pack. I had never done a workout. I hadn't got the containers yet. I hadn't tried Shakeology yet, but I saw what Liz did. I saw her transformation. That ignited excitement in me. If she could do it and she just had a kid, that means that I could do it. I'm really excited about this. And I was excited, and I just told people. That's all the coaching is in the beginning. Like, that's the essence. You get excited about something, you commit to it, and then you tell other people how excited you are, what's possible for them, because you've seen what's possible for someone else, and then you go and you tell the world. That's what inviting is. And you're just a genuine human. You don't need a script necessarily. You're just excited. You do live videos. You do posts every day about how you're getting ready for it. You do posts when you show up. And this is the second element. Once you have that belief and that fire and that passion and conviction that what I'm doing will change people's lives, then social media is a connection tool. And it's been really helpful to do some reflection in this, because I know that for a lot of people, it can steal your joy. You can get caught up in the toxicness of it. It's probably the most common thing that I hear from people when they struggle with social media. And I never have. And again, I was doing reflection on, why is that? Why have I not struggled with social media? To me, it's exciting, and I feel like I'm serving people on there. And it's because I've never identified this until recently. I've always seen it as a relationship tool. I haven't seen it as a sales platform. I see it as a relationship tool. And so if someone becomes a coach and goes on and posts the graphics from Beachbody's website about challenge packs on sale, most likely that's not going to get you longevity, success in the long run. Maybe you might get a few people who are looking to buy something. I don't necessarily want to find people who are just looking to buy something, do it for a couple days, and then quit it. I want to find people that want to transform their lives and become my friend while they're doing it. And so with that clarity, when you're sharing on social media, Don't use a graphic from Beachbody's website. You are not Beachbody, you are you. And that is what you want to communicate with people. This is who I am. This is my heart. This is my journey. This is why it's important to me. And this is why I want to find, not everybody, I want to find the people that want to link arms with me, that want to grow in relationship together, that want to build a community of like-minded, positive people who are driven to be the best version of themselves. And I'm going to show up on social media to find you, because I know that you're looking and you're struggling to find that group of people too. Are you kidding me? Right now, to find growth friends in this world is so hard. So if you want to be a growth friend for somebody, you have to show up and show them, this is my lifestyle that I'm committed to, even when life gets hard, even when it's crazy, even when I have the kid drop-offs, or I'm doing distance learning, or I'm moving to another state, or I've got 3 kids under 3, or whatever your story is. You have to show what your story is and show people how you're showing up when life gets hard, and show them why when you commit to your nutrition and your fitness and your mindset, that you're better in the crazy, because then it shows other people, if you did it, they can do it. Remember what Liz did for me? She was a complete stranger, but I saw her abs after having a baby, and I was like, if she could do it, I could do it. So when you're showing up on social media, show up in a way to connect with people, to show them if you can do it, that they can do it. And that's where vulnerability, I feel like, is a little bit important, because if you show up like everything's perfect and like you're never struggling, it's not going to be relatable. They're not going to think, well, look at everything that she's going through and she's still able to show up. If she could do it, I can do it. They're going to think, well, of course she's doing it. Her life's super easy and she's never had anything hard in her life, which we know is not true, but that's the temptation with social media. We don't want to share the struggles, because who likes to do that? Who likes to show weakness to the world? But that is the trick of how we connect with people and get and help inspire them. It's actually through walking through our struggles and through sharing how you're navigating that and how you're committed to coming out better and stronger on the other side, even when you don't know exactly how or what that looks like. So mind you, this topic of what we're talking about today is Success Club and growing your business. And the majority of it is here. The majority of it is in our mindset, our belief, our conviction, our excitement about what we're doing, our belief that this will help other people, our belief in our own selves to be successful, our belief in our own selves to help people. And then we can't stay in our box of our home with that excitement. You will be bouncing off the walls, and eventually it's going to die because you're not able to feed someone else's fire with it. When I do live videos, and granted, I've been doing them for 4.5 years, and I'm not saying that you have to do them. That's something that I've come to love. I did not love them when I first did them, and I was a mess, like a sweaty, gross armpit mess when I started them, but I've done hundreds, and now, like, it gives me such a high to talk about something that people need to hear, because I know I'm helping them. What does that give me? Fulfillment, confidence, excitement, courage, because then people are telling me, please don't stop these. I needed this so bad today. So what does that give me? Momentum, motivation. I need to keep doing what I'm doing because people are sharing that they needed this in their life. And if I'm sharing it and they need it, your people need it too. And so it goes back to, do I believe in myself? What is my mental game plan to get through this hard time that we're in, or that you're in specifically? Or maybe you're a new coach and you're really struggling. You haven't had one person sign up and you feel like you've been trying. What is your mental strategy to get to a better place so that you can attract people who are also struggling, but they want to take things to the next level? And there's a difference. You're not going to get the people who want to stay stuck in their valley, and that's okay. You want to find the people who are ready to do anything to get out of it, to live the life they know is possible. And I think that that's really key when we're sharing. Okay, so we talked about mindset. We've talked a little bit about social media and what that should look like. That's going to look different for all of us because we all have a different story. We have a different perspective. That part is going to be a little bit different. And then I wanted to reconvey the importance of inviting people, both through your posts and one-on-one. Because if you're talking about like all this inspirational stuff that you're doing, how you're taking things to the next level in your life, why you're excited about it, but you never invite people, to me, that's super rude. We get in our heads. We're like, I don't want to bug people. I don't want them to think I'm a salesperson. I don't want to be too pushy. I don't want to push product on something. So before you even try, you're talking yourself out of it because you're too scared of what might happen. What if you flip that on its head and you start to realize, what if the people that are listening or watching or reading my journey don't have the courage to reach out to me, and they're begging and hoping that I invite them to be part of what I'm doing, and I never do it? What a jerk. What if all the people that I reach out to feel the love and the passion and the authenticity that I have for what I'm doing? And what if I actually, out of 100 invites, I help facilitate change and empower the lives of 10 of those people or 2 of those people? But I have to get through the 100 to get to the 2. But then those 2 people, they rise up, and their children will never have the life that they were having in the best way. I said that really butchered, but I think you guys know what I mean. Right? Like their kids and the generational impact that they're going to have just because I reached out to them and said, hey, you want to do this with me? I'm on this journey. It's been super awesome. We're in stressful times, and I'm looking for other people who want to link arms with me and do this with me. Like, you in? And they say yes, and they're hesitant and they're nervous, but then they lose 2 pounds, and then they lose 5 pounds, and they're listening to personal development, and all of a sudden they're getting up earlier, and they stop drinking soda, and then they stop drinking, their 3 beers that they've been having at night, and they start believing in themselves, and they start looking in the mirror and saying, I'm a badass, I'm a badass, I'm a badass, and all of a sudden they start believing it, and all of a sudden their kids and their teenage daughters start having more confidence, and they start making better decisions. And then when their teenage daughters grow up to be moms, they start instilling those values into their daughters, and all because you sent an invite. It's not about selling. This is about creating community and empowering people to live the best version of themselves. That's what we're doing. And Success Club is just a side effect of this. I cannot remember. I think it was in John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Irrefutable Laws of Growth. And he said, you can have goals and possibly hit them and never grow, or you can be committed to growth. Your goals will absolutely happen by byproduct, and you're going to be better because of it. And I was like, that's so good. And that's kind of what I'm sharing with you today. You can have Success Club goals. Goals are super important in your business and in your life, but it's not going to be, oh my gosh, it's not going to help in the long term if you're not committed to growing your mindset, because that is where everything changes. That is the difference between everything. People who are successful and people who are unsuccessful. It's their mindset. It's their belief, what you choose to believe. Do not get in your own way this month. Be committed to being the best version of yourself. At the end of this month, if your life was to end, don't have any regrets. Make the biggest splash of impact that you can. Make a commitment to creating a ripple effect in the people around you. When people are around you, make them want to be better versions of themselves. Don't make them want to be like you. Make them want to be the best version of themselves because they see you committed to being the best version of yourself. We can't change people if we're not willing to change ourselves. And for some of us, that is changing narratives that we've been holding on to our whole life. That's changing self-sabotaging rituals that we've been doing, excuses that we've been telling ourselves. But at the end of the day, we'll do what we believe we are capable of doing. And if you believe that you can't help anyone and you're just hoping, nothing will happen. So it's up to you. And that's exciting. That is exciting because we can make that decision today and every day. And you're going to have to make that decision every day. You might have good days and low days, but you're going to have to make the decision. So if you've immersed yourself into personal development, if you're not listening or reading a book right now to strengthen your mindset, that is your first mistake in this business. I did not think I needed personal development when I started coaching because of what I've been through in life. I have enough character. They don't know me. That's for other people. And then I started listening to Brene Brown, and I'm like, oh, I did need this. Oh my gosh, I have so many barriers in my head I didn't even know I had. Okay. And then I've never stopped. And that's why I'm where I'm at today. It is a practice that you will never stop for the rest of your life. And that's exciting. So you have that mindset. You're making connections on social media. A lot of this is going to flow. I created a document. Did everybody see it from our last team call? I created I think it was 6 steps to mastering inviting. I could not figure out how to say that correctly. Mastering the invite, master inviting, whatever. That's in our leadership page. If you can't find it, please let me know. But that is like I write in there exactly how to attract your people by showing up, how to reach out to the ones who show interest in what you're doing, and how to follow up with them, how to invite to coaching, how to invite to your boot camp or your challenge group. Excuse me. And that it should be the meat and potatoes of what you're doing to grow your business. Because if you're not, like this, it all comes down to connection. So that is one way. I want to make sure that I highlight. Liz was reminding me the other day that there's someone who's been really successful in our business, like 12 years ago or whatever. And his name was Pete Pena. And there was a rule that if anyone was within 3 feet of him, they would hear what he's doing. Like they would know about what he's doing. He would find a way to strike up conversation and tell them, this is what I'm doing. You should absolutely do it too, because it'll change your life. And what if we had that conviction? Were you really? That's so funny. And there's so many people that have that. Like if you're on a subway, and granted COVID's ruined the world, right? But if you're in a mom group, if you are talking to a realtor, if you are talking to an insurance person, whatever it is, they know what you're doing. So it doesn't have to just be on social media, but as a coach, it's our job to connect with people and show them how we could make a positive impact in their life with what we have to offer. If you were selling a vacuum cleaner, that would be really hard to do. I mean, maybe if it was like super amazing. This is why I always say network marketing is the most brilliant business model with how it can set us up to work less and make more in the long run. But I could never do it with any other network marketing company. I couldn't do it with mascara. I use oils all the time, but I couldn't do it with oils. I couldn't do it with cleaning products or whatever. Because this to me, and I hope you guys can resonate with this too, this is the foundation of people's life. You can have all the aspirations and all of the skill and the goals to run an empire. You could have 12 kids. You can have like whatever the success is, but if you don't have your health, everything will suffer and everyone around you will suffer. And if you are someone who's ever suffered from chronic illness, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When my health was stripped from me, I couldn't help anyone. And I was a downer to be around because I was so sick. And so what we're doing is empowering people to be the gifts that they were created to be for the world. That's why we have people who are teachers and nurses and doctors and lawyers and carpenters. And that's why everyone was created with a different passion. Our job is to make them better teachers and nurses and doctors and lawyers and carpenters, right? That's what we get to do. That's a freaking awesome job. But if we don't step up to the plate and do that, the whole world is going to suffer because you need your health. You need your energy. You need your longevity. You need your agility. You need your strength. You need to be able to run around with your kids. You need to be confident and you need to shift your mindset. What we do as coaches is not just physical change, it's mindset change too. We are teaching people how to shift their thinking and to love themselves. Women are attacked across our culture in their mindset. And they're like, so many women hate themselves, and it kills me because it's a choice. And we could show them a different way, but they're not going to know unless we show up and we talk about it consistently, repetitively, over and over again. And we tell them, I believe in you. I see potential in you. There's greatness inside of you. And I bet you that no one in their life is telling them that right now, except for you on your social media. Right? That's crazy. That's such a responsibility that I feel deeply in my heart. And I think that's what spills over into my posts, into my videos, into coaching and what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to share with you really quick something that I started doing that I think might help some of you, because when I first started, I felt overwhelmed with the responsibility of actually coaching someone and how I was going to do that in a way that fit into my full-time working schedule and my family. Granted, I like our groups that we have. Challenge groups is like genius because people's energy can feed off each other. But I also want to show you really quick what I created. I'm going to share this in our leadership page as well. Where am I? With my new client test group that I marketed in October, I started doing, I've never done this before. Actually, I did for a fraction of a second, and I way overcomplicated it, and I stopped because they were taking me forever. But I started, let me pull this up really quick. Let's see, I'm gonna delete their name just for confidentiality. Say Jane Doe. Okay, let me share my screen. And for everyone, when people sign up with me now, I'm scheduling a one-on-one call. Now, let me tell you, this is after they get my welcome email. And this is only slotted to be 15 to 20 minutes. And I don't think it should be longer than that if you decide to do this. Oh, that's too big. So this is my template. And again, I'm going to send this to you. And when we do a one-on-one call, I have them text me and I say, hey, let's set up a 15, 20-minute call. I'd like to go over your goals and your roadmap for success. So I titled it super cheesy, Best Self Roadmap for, and I put their name and I put the date, because this is really helpful for them to have all in one place. And so, all right, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. I have at the top about, and I'm typing as they're talking to me. And I'm just telling them, okay, Jane, tell me a little bit about yourself. This one's a mom of 3 kids. These are their ages. They work part-time in elementary school. Their husband's a police officer. They're turning 40 November 14th. If things like that come up in conversation, I know that that's important to them. Their current weight, and I put this if they have weight loss or weight gain goals. This is their current weight, and I always ask how tall they are, because, and this is a little bit just of my science brain too, but you don't want to have someone who's only 5 foot have the goal to be 80 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure they're realistic. You don't want to have someone who's 5'5" have the goal of being, I want to weigh 100 pounds. And you're like, okay, let me help you with this, because that's not, you would be skin and bone, and that's not healthy. Our goal is to make you healthy. So she had shared with me her goal weight's 165. And then I'll ask, okay, recap for me, what is the best version of you 90 days from now? And a lot of people are going to have a hard time with this question. You might have to coach them through it a little bit. They might say, well, I just want to lose weight. Okay, so let me ask you, Jane, the best version of you as a mom of 3 kids, what does that feel like? Because we can lose weight because we're super sick and we have cancer. That's not the goal, right? Well, no, that's not the goal. Okay, so is your energy important in this? Yeah, I'd like to feel energetic. Okay, what about like your confidence, your mood? How do you feel in these areas? Do you have any digestive issues maybe that you want to see improved? Would it feel good for you to have a good, successful routine that every morning you're waking up and you're doing your workout, your personal development, and having some quiet time with your coffee before your kids wake up? Yeah, I would love that. You know what I mean? So sometimes asking these questions and helping them get clarity on where they want to go, because in every area of our life, our fitness, our business, and life in general. If you don't have clarity of your vision of the best version of your life, you're going to feel like you're in a hamster wheel, and you're going to be working really hard doing the wrong things, and you're never going to feel satisfied because you're never going to know what's going to make you feel accomplished. But as soon as you have clarity, this is like an airplane. They have to put in their end coordinates of their destination to know the shortest distance to get to from California to New York. They could be flying for the rest of their lives and never get to New York if they're flying in a circle. We could do the same thing. So it's important for us, but it's also important for your client. And then you ask them, okay, Jane, so you weigh 165, you feel strong, you have your morning routine dialed, you're feeling confident, energized throughout the day. And come June, when you're going to Florida, you feel like a smoking hot mama in your bikini. How is that going to impact your life? And what this question does is it starts to help them imagine success. What do most women do when they start a diet? They imagine themselves failing. But I'm most likely going to fail. They like self-sabotage. Same with coaching. When people first start coaching, most people say, I'm most like all the things I don't want. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to, whatever, all the things. I don't want to, this is going to take too much time. I don't have the time. It's all negative. It's not, but what if I succeed? How would that impact my life? And so there's a huge mindset shift that happens when we start asking ourselves, if I'm successful, how will this impact my life? And so, and this might be surface level for some people at first, but I encourage them to keep thinking about it. So she shared with me, I'd be able to keep up with my kids and my super energetic husband. My confidence would be better, and further talked about how that would impact the example for their kids. And then I walk them through, what do you anticipate being your biggest struggle? And I think this is important because we're being real, right? We're telling them, I see that this is going to get hard at some point. We know that. So let's talk about it now. What do you anticipate is your biggest struggle? Well, my bad habits. Okay, what are your bad habits? My poor nutrition. Okay, what does that look like? Well, I usually wake up and I drink coffee and I don't eat breakfast, and then I'm super hungry later, so I eat a ton, and that creates anxiety, and then I self-sabotage because I feel bad because I just ate a ton of food, but I was so hungry. Okay, perfect. If that's the thing that's going to get in your way, how are we going to combat that? Let's map this out. Well, and I'm asking her. I usually say I have some ideas, but I want to hear from you. How do you feel like we could best combat this and prevent you from falling into the cycle? Well, if I meal prep, then I know that I'm going to be better. Scheduling time to meal prep on the weekends and making things I enjoy, because if I don't enjoy my food, I know I'm not going to eat it. Okay, awesome. We have a game plan, right? And so these like questions and typing this out is really helpful for me as their coach, but it's also helpful for them. And then I go through, we as coaches with Beachbody have a very unique 5-point approach to helping our people, and this 5-point approach that we use for our own journey. So I write out, this is your customized 90-day plan for results. Number 1, intentional nutrition. So I help them pick a nutrition program. You're going to follow To Be Mindset. How do you feel about that? Awesome. Lately, I've been also doing people's calculations for Portion Fix and saying, if they're doing To Be Mindset, I want you to see the ideal meal plan for you with Portion Fix, because I know that like Sarah's had a client too, I think it was Becky, who was doing To Be Mindset and was not eating enough food at all for what she needed. And that is totally going to set her up for failure and frustration. And so this is something I learned from Colleen that's helpful sometimes to combine the two, so that they have an idea of, okay, if I have 100 pounds to lose, I'm going to need to be eating more food than someone who only has 5 pounds to lose, if that makes sense. Because you need to rev up that metabolism. So that is what I've been doing for To Be Mindset. And I go online and I show them, I share my screen, because we do a Zoom call. I share my screen and I say, this is where the nutrition center is in Beachbody On Demand. And here's where your videos are. And here's where the monthly mindset is with the recipes. You can check this out if you want to keep the meal plans. You know, it will charge you, was it $19.99, $14.99, whatever it is, 14, okay, a month. But we can cancel this. I just want you to know where to find these recipes. And if you guys haven't been on the recipes section in our nutrition center recently, it's freaking amazing. It's so much better than it was when we first started. And it's fun. Like, and there's all the filters for people who want to stay paleo or gluten-free or whatever. So I tell them, you know what? Do your kids like to cook? Does your husband like to cook? Spend some time in here with your kids and your husband and make this fun. Pick out a few recipes that you guys want to go and get ingredients for and you want to cook together. And then consistent exercise. What fitness program you're committed to? You're going to do MBF. Okay, when are you going to work out? And this is something I'm doing new this month, which I think will catch on. When are you going to work out? When can you commit to working out? This person was set at 6 a.m. Okay, you're going to do that in our virtual gym. I'm going to send a text message to you and 3 other women who I know are also going to work out at 6 a.m. And I want you guys to log into our virtual gym and work out together. Because as Britton has showed me, when I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed at 4:30 in the morning, but Britton's going to be waiting for me, so I have to. And it's so helpful for that accountability because a lot of people struggle with that. So I'm helping to pod people together based on the time that they're wanting to work out. And then Shakeology, I just do a quick blurb on, I want you to give this 90 days, and then you can evaluate how you feel. And I want you to drink it first thing in the morning. Water, we go over, this is how much water you need to drink, half of your body weight in ounces per day. And then mindset. And we talked about what the majority of today's call was about. You can know all the things, but you're not going to do them unless you believe in your worth to be successful and you believe in your ability to be successful. So I'm telling you right now, in our toxic world we live in your bad habits that you're going to be combating, you need to immerse yourself in some personal development. Here's my recommendation for you. And I've been suggesting Miracle Morning lately for people who are really in the beginning of committing to themselves, because it really does show you that if you shift your morning, you shift your day, you shift your week, you shift your life. And then I tell them that I listen to these speakers off of YouTube when I'm working out. And I cannot even tell you the difference that makes in my day. I'm always listening to them, one of them, while I'm working out. And at the end of the day, that's why I usually do my live videos after my workout, because I feel like I could change the world. So they have a plan. And then in the resources section, all I have here, which this is basically the same for every person. This is where their meal plan, they'll find their meal plan with their nutrition program from the nutrition center. This is the link to our bod group, where I want you to request to join if you haven't already. And then I'm doing weekly accountability Zoom chats for the group Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And this is it's going to be quick and it's going to be relaxed. And I tell them they don't have to make it, but I'm going to show up. And if you want to be accountable and tell me how your week went and you want to set goals for the next week, I'm going to be there. And in doing this, I can help 50 people it's not going to be that, but if I wanted to, and it's only going to take maximum an hour of my time. And I feel like I'm doing my part to support them. This is part of our challenge group, so I just attached it. This is the habit tracker that I got from Mompreneur. So that's what I'm doing for my people once they sign up. Again, that process takes 20 minutes. And it's super, super, super helpful. And yes, Britton, I will share it. Sorry, I'm reading your comments right now. I will share it in our coach page. And okay. Do you guys, I know that this whole thing was about Success Club, but what happens when you have a plan to help somebody? Does it shift like excitement in your mindset? Like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing when they start. Because that is, again, it comes all down to that. And if we can shift, when we grow, we get excited, we do the things, all of a sudden, now you're taking the actions of inviting and posting on social media with a completely different vibe and energy. And that people feel. If you're forcing it, people will feel that too. And when you're excited out of your mind about what you're doing, and you can tell people, I have a new onboarding system for my clients that's guaranteed to get you results. I guarantee you, if people do what we have to offer, that they're going to feel better in 30 days. I promise you. And if they don't, they get their money back. So like have that kind of conviction when you're reaching out and you're inviting people. Okay. Last 10 minutes. Do you guys have any questions, any feedback, anything that you want to share, anything that you're struggling with specifically? Go for it, Sarah.
I love that. Like just looking at it made me so excited. Can you tell me one more time? I missed where the meal plan links to. The meal plan link, where does that go?
Yes. Let me show you. Canva has been, I realize in our new coach checklist, the one that I put together, that the links aren't working. So I have to fix that today. So it links them to this, the Mindset membership, or it'll be a monthly fix.
Okay.
Because I realized that I hadn't done enough investigating to figure out where these meal plans were. So for those of you who don't know, this is where, like, this is the 1 week meal plan for November. If I click on that, it's going to open up. I wish these recipes were hyperlinked here, but this is, no.
Oh, I thought they were.
I know. I thought that they were too, which sucks.
Yeah.
But there's the key down here for where you can find them, where you can find the recipes. And there's tips here. So for those of you who don't know, this is what the Nutrition Plus membership will get you for either program, To Be Mindset or Portion Fix. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Yay.
I'm excited about this too. I know, poor Sarah. Like I always tell her, she's the OG of our team, and I am not a systems person. At all. Like she knows I'm a hot mess, and I function well in that, and it's not easy to follow. So I'm trying to get better about these kinds of things because I know it's going to help everybody.
You said that you do, I kind of missed the part where you said that you have the meetings with them. You do that once a month?
Once a week.
Once a week.
I might have said month.
I don't know. So, and you're just picking a time that's good for you, and
Yep.
You're on there, and if they can be, are you recording these?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, I think this is important to say too, is that all of us have different schedules and lifestyles and times that work better for us. This is why I hate evening calls. And so we have our team calls at 9 a.m. But I also see if I'm going to do one evening call a week, and I talked with my husband about it. Hey, is it okay with you if I do at 6 p.m.? If I'm like dinner's done at 5, we'll try to eat early. And then, cause I'm trying to go to bed early too, so I can wake up super early. So it works for me to do like maximum 6 to 7. I'm going to show up, and I set that expectation with them from the beginning that if you have questions, you ask in our team page or the message thread that I put all of my people in for from October. And then I'm going to show up for accountability. You tell me what you've done on Tuesday. And I used to do the high performance coaching. And when I had my calls with my mentor, with my coach for Brendan Bouchard's high performance coaching, and I had to tell him what I had accomplished from the last week, and I had to set goals for the next week, it really made me take things more seriously. And so I think that it's going to help just to be there and say, tell me what'd you do and where are you going? Yeah.
So I've been thinking about this, and you brought it up, so I hope it's okay that I ask. It's kind of a little off topic, but it's about getting people to engage and be active, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love our bod group app, and there are certain few people that are there that are solid, that are good, but I find a lot of my people, I feel like I'm getting feedback that they're struggling with another thing, right? Like another platform. Right. And while we look at it as, okay, it's nice because it's a more positive community, you can go on there and all you get is positive, and you get encouragement and support, I feel like there are people who are not opening the app and the notifications are not working, like the whole track your workout. And I even still have people who toggled over for it to show in the group feed, but it's not showing in the group feed. So I'm asking you what your thoughts are, because I don't have anything on Facebook for my clients, because I kind of, since BOD group launched prior to me coming in, or like right at that time, I decided that I'm just going to go all in with this. Now, 6 months later, I'm feeling like it's not keeping my people accountable like I'd like, if that makes sense. Like, they're not seeing my notifications. They're not seeing my live videos in there. And I am in there. I'm in there and I'm posting and I'm engaging, I'm commenting on their stuff, but only certain people are in there. So I don't know what to do. Should I do a Facebook group and see how that goes, and not, should I do both? What would be a good idea?
Yeah, I think that this is like the $1 million question, honestly, across the network, because I feel you there. I really do. And that's where I have right now a Marco Polo group, and I start a new one every single month, and I post the link to the old one. I say, we're starting over, set your new goals. They know at this point, I've been doing this since January, and they know that I am not in there. Like, I try to be, but it gets to be, there's a lot of videos. And so they know that I'm not in there. It's actually the community that they've built, and they love it. And I've asked them, like, hey, do you guys want to do another one? And every time there's a core group of them that's like, yes, I need this. And so I have that. I tried last month the Instagram group, because people are on Instagram, and it was a little bit easier than a Facebook group. And that was okay. I think that this business just comes down to trial and error. And so if you feel like you want to try, and maybe asking your people, if I started a Facebook group and we try it for the rest of the year, would that be helpful for you? And they say yes, then do it. And see how that goes. The hard part is that we can never make everyone happy as much as we want to. And I've struggled with that. So in so many ways. I feel good right now that I know in our BOD groups is where I'm putting my daily posts, and that's where the files are for the resources. That's where I'm going to show up, because I struggle with that. Another app of BOD groups, have struggled logging my stuff. This is the first month I've actually am taking it seriously, of logging my own stuff every day and logging my own nutrition every day. So if I'm feeling like that, I know other people are. So I feel like I know that my stuff's going in BOD groups, and I'm telling people this is where I'm logging. This is where they can log for their own results. And then I think that the weekly Zoom call is going to be an added element that's not going to require a ton of energy, because when you have both, it's really hard to be present in both, like to go back and forth and comment on people's stuff on both. Like, I know I cannot do that, and I don't want to do that. So I think that's important, that if you do that, that you are honest with yourself and what's going to bring you joy and not make you burn out at the end of the year. Yeah.
I think maybe I'll just implement this that you just talked about and stay on BOD groups, and just make sure, because I think what I might do is allow people who are already clients, because I don't have as many as you, and then be like, hey, if you want one of these one-on-ones where I sit, we talk about it and customize you and we get you reset, and this is what I'm going to be offering, the weekly calls, and this is where I am. I'm in the BOD group, because I've already been trying to do that with how you message me. Like, I've told people, my new people, I do not take text messages. The only way to message me is on Facebook, and after 6 p.m. I may not answer you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, guys. I'm going to post this.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go, Britton.
I know we're about to leave, but just as going forward, and you might already have trainings for this, I'm looking for something like social media wise to help like really like hone in on a brand, because I feel a little aimless in my posts. And I feel like if we, like this, like being on point of like what represents you, these are those 5 like critical like areas that you want to like push on. And that way it's like I always have something started to push on. I know that Liz had that really awesome start, like that branding. training that you put in the new coaches guide, and I love it. I'm just wondering if we have maybe a few more of those that we could post or something on the leadership page.
Absolutely. Did you do Liz's already?
I did the one with Liz. The one that you had in the new coaches guide.
Perfect.
But that's the only I've gotten. And then I just almost, if we could take it like almost a little bit step further, see if she had anything.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Write this down so that I don't forget. The color wheel is also really helpful. Have you ever done that or heard of it, Britton? So Amy, Amy Bailey, used to be Amy Rada, had an awesome video, but she had to take all of her YouTube videos down. So I will find one. But the color wheel is really helpful because it goes over basically exactly what you're talking about, like what your 5 buckets are that you're passionate about. And we should be sharing things about our life that are not Beachbody related. That's like yesterday I shared a lot about the election, and my live video this morning had nothing to do with business, but it's who I am. And so I'm going to attract the people of who I am. My husband was sharing with me yesterday. I can't remember what it was about, but it was something political. And I was like, I feel like people just don't know these things. Like people just don't know. I feel like I should share that. And he was like, well, this is a business. And granted, you guys know me, and I'm a very unfiltered human. And not everyone is like that, and that's fine. But I told him, I was like, you know what? If I'm not true to who I am, though, I'm not going to attract people who want to work with someone like me. And if I try to just make everyone happy and be politically correct and everything, I know because of who I am, that's not being true to who I am. And then people are going to be surprised when they know who I am, and I don't want that. I want people to know who I am and want to work with me because of that and all of that. So I think that that's really important too, that we're all honest about who we are. Like even Felisa, I know we talked about this too. If you're ever in a place in life where you have to hide a part of what you're doing, like you're doing with the test group, it friggin' messes with my head so bad. And I this is a topic in the roundtable, Felisa, with the test group participants right now, because a lot of you are a much more seasoned new coach, like you've been in the industry for a long time. New coaches who have to do that, it's crushing them. Like they are quitting after the test group because they're like, this is not fun. I can't talk about what I'm doing. It's setting them up for failure.
And I think part of the frustration for a lot of people in the current test group, and I don't know if this has been like this before, and I love Autumn. You guys know she's my freaking just love her. And you guys, every single person who's listening to this needs to do this program, just saying.
Yes.
But she is showing stuff on her social media, and so are her cast, and we can't.
That's really frustrating.
And it's like, what? Okay, we can't put the equipment out, but you are. We can't, it's frustrating. They're not doing moves, but they are showing like the set and all that stuff. But I think that's frustrating some people. And I, Felisa, tend to be one of those people. And so I was like, you know what? Oh, well, whatever. It's not going to stop me from my mission of helping people. They can't buy it right now anyway. So I'm going to focus, Sarah and I have talked about this, I'm going to focus on my nutrition. So I have delved into that a little bit more, and I have started posting, and I used to hate when people would post their food, but it's different because this is healthy food, right? So I've been posting what I'm eating, and I've been having people interact with that, hearting it and liking it and going, yum, I need more, I need your help. It can be though, it really is hard, like you said, to hide something, but I have I think a different view than you. As far as my branding, your branding, you are very political and you are very, and that's great. I'm not saying,
right.
But me, I'm the person, and it's kind of funny because you and I have very similar views, I feel like, on politics. However, I'm more of, I have my views. You want to know them, we can talk, but that is not who I am. Yeah. I am Felisa, lover of all, come give me a hug. So that, Britton, I think is the flip of that, right? So I do still have those same strong views. I just don't feel like they're at my core. I feel like what makes me is that I will give anyone and everyone a hug and a hand up. I don't care who you are. If you need a hug, if you need someone to listen, I'm there. I don't care if I know you for 2 seconds, right? So that's who I am. And I think that's what Jess is trying to say. Don't hide who you are, come across as who you are. And that's what matters, in my opinion, in branding more than anything.
Yeah. And honestly, like this is definitely a growth piece for me. Cause we talk about like, what do you fear in your business or in just general, like social media is always, I had months where I would never post anything. This is the first time actually that I posted really much of anything in the last like 2-3 months, because I was like, you know what? I don't want to interact. I don't want to engage. And I know that so many more people are like that. And I totally value what you said, Jess, about like putting out your positivity in the world, because there's not a lot of it right now. And we need to go ahead and try to flood that, because right now people only know what they're seeing online, and that becomes our environment. And if we have more positivity that we're putting out, it starts to balance the scales a little bit. And I really appreciate that. And so I'm feeling much better about like posting what I'm doing, how excited, and like that vulnerability that I've done. But then it just starts to, I'm a little bit too oriented, like it's the business element. And then there's not that post of like who I am. And there's like little things here and there. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just try to find, okay, let's find the balance. Let me make it like that fear piece of putting out who I am and still like loving on people and all that. That's not just business oriented, so that I'm a well-rounded person to people. That's, I think, what I'm looking for. And so I'm hopeful that I can start having at least some exercises to start tweak, kind of taking that out. So that's where I'm at. That's all I was asking.
It's hard right now though. Like I was just talking to Megan on Marco Polo yesterday. I'm bored with myself. I'm bored with myself. Like I want to do a video. Are you bored with me? Because I'm bored with me. Are you bored with yourself?
You should. That would be hilarious.
I have 4 walls around me, and that's my life. Like, so to try to show people what my life is, they do see what my life is, because literally, like, maybe, my kids come down in the middle of distance learning and give me a hug. Maybe I can take a picture of that. But I'm in those moments. I'm the person that when it comes to my kids, I don't share them as much as some people, because like I'm in the moment of, oh, this feels so good. And then they go away. You know what I mean? Like that moment. But it is hard, Britton. You're not alone in that, because honestly, I can't wait till the world reopens so that I can start doing and sharing some more interesting stuff about myself, because right now it's hard.
Well, then maybe I'm going to go and make a dedication to you guys. I'm going to go and do a video today of just kind of talking about the real me, and that I'm not, I know we talk a lot about all the great things you're doing and we're all positive all the time, but I'm just a person like anyone else. And check out my house. I don't care. Like I'm there too. I think that's a lot of vulnerability. And I think that's maybe I need to get a little vulnerable in the next couple of days over just, moving but still finding joy in the little things, and knowing that it's going to be hard. There's going to be balance of scales here of like feeling joy and feeling that hardship, but that if we keep on trying every day, that that's where it really counts. Yesterday? I don't know, the one with the cute photo that you got from.
No, so I full on admitted I was like having a rough day yesterday, and I was like practically in tears by the end of the workout. It's one of those things. I feel like that I think one of my strengths is being vulnerable. Like that's one of my strengths, and I love it. It can be kind of a blessing and a curse, but so. Honestly, people want to know those things, because they want to know that they're not the only one, that a workout can bring them to tears, whether it's because of life stuff or because the workout was that freaking hard for them, right? And it was both on me yesterday. So, I think if you do that, you'll find that people will start being more drawn to you if you just be yourself, because you're amazing.
Be real. Yeah.
That's what's going to attract people to you. And I'm going to let you guys go, but I wanted to share one more thing, because I think that especially when you're just getting back into posting social media, we have this feeling that everyone sees everything that we post. And someone told me before, and I will never forget it, that I am the only one who sees everything that I post. And so if we're constantly posting our workouts or what we're doing for fitness and nutrition and business, we think that we're like, it's in people's face every single time. Most likely they're not seeing any of it, or they're maybe seeing one post of your 10 for a lot of people. And so when you do, I think this video is an amazing idea, but I don't think that you need to say, like, preface it with, I'm not just about this. I know that I post about this a lot. I mean, you can, but you can say, I wanted to show you guys like the nitty gritty. This is the real deal of why this is important to me, because this is my life right now. I started a job at the end of this month in another state. You know, like I'm moving into another house in another state with 2 little kids. And like, I have no idea how this is all going to happen, but I'm committed to my fitness because this is what happens. I'm committed to my Shakeology because this is how it's impacted me. I'm committed to eating clean because this is the kind of person and who I am, so that I can take on this monumentous mountain of moving to another state with 2 children this month and starting a full-time job. Like, you know, and so it's more of your story that you're communicating about what you're doing, so that people get to know, wow, she's doing all of that and she's waking up at 4:30 in the morning to do workouts. Like, if she could do it, I could do it. And that's like the goal, right?
But still, yeah, still showing that vulnerability, still showing the imperfections of life, but not necessarily downgrading. Oh, I'm assuming that you are tired of seeing this all the time.
Totally. Absolutely.
And it's totally a confidence thing. It comes back to the confidence and a mindset for sure. Okay. I'll let you go because we have to go longer.
Great. Thanks for showing up. I'll be uploading this recording ASAP, and I already posted the template for the one-on-one calls in the leadership page, and it's in our chat right here too.
Awesome.
Bye guys.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Bye.